So we've reached one of the most significant moments of the 11-month Manchester United takeover saga, whereby Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the founder of Ineos, Britain's richest man, is closing in on a 25% stake in the club. Now, 25% doesn't signify a majority stake. It still means he'll have less of a stake than the Glazer family, the current owners. But this is the beginning of the end of the Glazer ownership of Man United, and that is the good news for the Man United fans. They may read this as maybe the Glazers staying involved and having that majority stake, but this is the start of a process whereby Sir Jim Ratcliffe will ultimately become the main owner at Old Trafford. And part of the deal, which he will probably announce sometime this week, will see that Ratcliffe becomes the main voice on the football operations side at Old Trafford, so that managerial appointments, player recruitment, appointments in terms of scouting, in terms of director of football, in terms of all the key elements of a football team will fall into the lap of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who has had success in the past with his cycling team Ineos, and he had limited success at Nice in France and Lausanne in Switzerland. But he is a guy that is regarded as being a successful businessman. He's a Man United fan as a kid. He grew up in nearby Failsworth and nearby Ogden, so he's got the connection to the club in the sense that he's a homegrown fan. He's British, and I think a lot of the fans prior to the start of the takeover were keen for that to happen. But the emergence of Sheikh Jassim, the Qatari bidder, obviously changed the aspect in the sense that a lot of United fans wanted the bid to go to Sheikh Jassim because they felt that Qatari money would give United the chance to compete with Man City, obviously owned by Sheikh Mansour of Abu Dhabi, and Newcastle United, who've got Saudi Arabian backing. But the reality is, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, as I've been told, is being smarter than the Qataris in the sense he's worked away at the Glazers, found a way that would suit them, suit Avram and Joel, the two co-chairmen who want to retain some involvement in United. But the reality is that at the end of this game, the end game, I suppose, is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe becomes Man United's majority owner. But it won't be quick. But it is the start of the process that we'll see the Glazers gradually phased out and their influence will wane. Why they want to stay involved at this stage? We know that they're hugely unpopular with the fans, but they see United's commercial growth, the potential for streaming money to come down the line, or a bigger commercial deal in the sense of broadcasting rights will enable them to get more money out of it. But truth, if you look at the value of the club on the New York Stock Exchange, it's less than £3 billion. So the Glazers holding out for £6 billion wasn't realistic. The reality is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come up with a deal around about £1.5 billion for a 25% stake. That's above market value, so that would appeal to the Glazers, but it does give them the so-called off-ramp to get out of the club and to move away and to give the ownership to somebody different. It's been almost 20 years since the Glazers took charge in 2005, and the club since then has had success, but it's diminished in the last 10 years since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Old Trafford as a stadium is in decline, it needs modernising, and that is part of the package that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will bring along. He's got funding in place from some of the major banks in the world, so it is good news for Man United fans. I can understand why a lot of the supporters will think this is a bad thing because it keeps the Glazers involved, but it is the start of a process to move them out. So the good news is that it's the beginning of the end for the Glazers. It's the end of the beginning of the Ratcliffe takeover, but this is the start of the Glazers being out of Man United. I suppose for many fans who wanted them out since 2005, that's good news, but it won't be a quick process.